Hello everyone, Snitch Racer here, and today I want to talk about a mod for Twisted Metal 4. This mod is Pedro's childhood mod 3.0, and in my opinion, it is the ultimate way to experience Twisted Metal on the PlayStation 1. A large portion of the Twisted Metal community is aware of this mod, but today I'm here to spread the word even more so that even more people know about this wonderful mod. Like I mentioned, this mod is made for Twisted Metal 4, which to me is the perfect game to mod as it does have a lot of wasted potential. This game threw a lot of new ideas into the mix, but most of these ideas felt unfinished. Just a lot of empty feeling ideas. This is why making a mod for this game is perfect. There's so much room for improvement. And well, Pedro has found a way to make pretty much every single thing about Twisted Metal 4 100 times better, thanks to his mod. Pedro has told me that his main objective of this mod is to make time to kill lower and improve most of the weapons in the game. Today's video will briefly go over all these upgrades and why I think these upgrades make the game 100 times better. I won't go into detail about every single thing, but I will go over the main changes of this mod. In the original form of Twisted Metal 4, the one that came out for the PS1, the cars have way too much health. This can make things quite tedious and even boring at times as you spend way too much time trying to kill the opponents. Well, Pedro's childhood mod fixes this issue. With this mod, cars get destroyed quite a bit faster as Pedro has reduced the HP of most cars. This significantly heightens the intensity of the game. Every single hit you make or take matters that much more, which adds to the feeling of constant adrenaline. You are always on your toes, which makes it so you are constantly engaged in the gameplay, something that's entirely missing from the vanilla version of the game. This mod genuinely just makes it so you're never gonna stop driving and shooting. The pace is absolutely relentless. One single attack can completely change the momentum of battle, making every interaction quite unpredictable and fun. Because of this, you have to pay a lot more attention to your health bar, making healing pickups and using the shield command much more important. In my opinion, this is how every single Twisted Metal game should be like: constant action with minimal downtime, and this mod captures it perfectly with the reduced health. This brings me to the next feature I want to talk about of this mod, and that's how Pedro has improved the weapons. This combines with the reduced health to make this game great. Pedro's childhood mod 3.0 brings new life into the weapon mechanics of Twisted Metal 4, enhancing the overall gameplay experience significantly. Pedro has informed me that he really wanted to make every single weapon fun to use. Let me discuss some of the regular weapon pickups that he's improved first. The homing missile is the first one that comes to mind as you will be using it quite often. The tracking of this missile is much more accurate and you can fire it very quickly. This really makes it feel a lot more like the homing missiles from Twisted Metal Black, and in my opinion that's amazing because Black has the best homing missiles. Its cousin, the fire missile, also seems to have its tracking issues rectified from the vanilla version of the game, as the fire missiles are very strange in the original version of the game. Both the MIRV, M-I-R-V, and the Rain 2 have been fixed. These weapons are horrible in the original version of the game. They don't have great tracking and essentially never hit their target. They just kind of fire wherever the heck and shoot everything but their target. Somehow, Pedro has pulled off magic and has made both these weapons amazing and even overpowered in some regard. These two weapons will follow other players with extreme accuracy from the skies. They will rarely ever miss. This allows you to keep up the pressure on opponents even when they are trying to evade you. Plus, they're an absolute blast to use. They're just super satisfying. Watch out though, as the AI are very good at using Rain 2 as well. They will decimate you if you're not prepared, so just watch out for that. You need to always have a shield at the ready. Honestly though, the AI using this weapon just kind of adds to the epic fun challenge of this mod. There's even a few minor changes to improve some of the weapons, like Napalm has a bit larger of an explosion, which actually turns it into a useful weapon. The speed missiles have also been improved. Pedro has made them fire faster and they do more damage, making them a useful weapon for the first time in the entire series. The Rain weapon, not Rain 2, but the original Rain weapon, has been completely changed, making it fire with more precision and accuracy. The list goes on. Pedro has even managed to improve the damage of the machine guns by a massive amount. I mean, in the vanilla game, the machine guns really just felt like shooting someone with a water hose. Sure, you might damage the paint, I don't know, but you're not really gonna actually hurt anybody. But for the mod, I find the machine guns more akin to Twisted Metal Black in the fact that they actually do a decent amount of damage and essentially act like a constant secondary weapon. There is a grand list of minor improvements to pretty much every single weapon, so I just encourage you guys to go out and discover the differences yourself. As far as the specials go, pretty much every single one, apart from Sweet Tooth, has been drastically improved. The damage input has increased, and they all have unique mechanics to set them apart. This adds an element of individuality and uniqueness that is missing from the original version of the game. In the vanilla version of the game, the characters start to feel like each other because the specials just don't do a lot of damage, so you essentially fight the exact same style with every character. With the better specials of the mod, this has been fixed and everyone feels quite unique. I personally enjoy experimenting with different characters and finding which ones fit my playstyle well. Some you gotta play defensive and try to avoid being hit as much as possible, while others allow you to be extremely offensive, keeping up the constant pressure on your enemies with attacks. In general, Pedro has decreased the amount of time these specials take to respawn. Instead of taking up to 4 minutes like in the original version, all of them seem to respawn in less than 90 seconds, allowing you to always have another special around the corner if you happen to run out. Again, this is more akin to Twisted Metal Black. In general, this makes every character completely different to each other, so this makes switching between characters feel very fresh every single time. You'll actually have to test all kinds of different strategies in order to figure out each character, making the replayability of this mod insane. Honestly, all these weapon improvements really do add more depth to a game that is as shallow as a puddle in a desert. Let me just quickly list a few examples of some of the special weapon improvements here. I'm only going to list a few because I don't want to spoil the fun for everyone else in regards to trying the mod for the first time. But let me list a few of my favorites here. Honestly, my ultimate favorite is Pizza Boy's special is just drastically improved. It's much faster and does a crap load more damage. It also spawns very often. This makes Pizza Boy's special actually one of the best specials in the entire mod. Calypso now has a nuke that actually feels like a nuke. This special is so decimating now that you can actually take out like 4 or 5 people at once with your special if they all happen to have less than half their health left. Zombie special is the last one I'll mention as well. The grabbing ability of his special is absolutely insane, and it does a little bit more damage, but it's really the grabbing ability that, to me, seems quite a bit more improved. His special is just super overpowered, as you can see in the background here. I really could talk all day about these specials, but like I mentioned, please just go out and try it for yourself. I don't want to spoil the experience for you. I hope by the end of this video, I will have convinced you to go try the mod itself. This way you can try each special and each character. There's just so much to discover here. Generally though, the specials are just improved in every way possible. This makes it so the specials have a much greater impact on the game and how you play it, more akin to the rest of the games in the series. Now we can talk about the physics improvements of this mod. Overall, in the original version of Twisted Metal 4, the physics feel quite outdated. This, of course, is not a surprise as the game came out in 1999. However, there are a few things Pedro has done to improve some of the issues with the physics of this game. This is especially apparent when colliding with other characters in the mod. In the mod, the collisions feel much more realistic as the cars collide like they are more solid objects instead of the weird rubbery feeling physics of the vanilla game. This is very satisfying and can create some great unexpected moments where you send people absolutely flying. This isn't like a massive change, but it does add some much needed quality of life to the game. And speaking of collisions, the ram damage has increased significantly for Pedro's mod. This adds some balance into the game by giving the big characters the ability to do damage with the metal of their cars, giving people more reason to choose bigger cars, whereas before it really didn't have any advantages. Personally, I think that all Twisted Metal games should have at least some decent ram damage like this. I mean, just look at Twisted Metal 1 and 2. Another minor change that has a much bigger impact than the collision physics is the speed of the game. The mod has increased this significantly. This creates a much more dynamic and exciting style of gameplay, something missing entirely from the OG game. Pedro has increased the handling of most of the cars in the game too. The speed and handling creates a new need to learn the skill of dodging and evading attacks, again adding to the depth of this mod. The depth of this mod is so deep I might drown. This creates a heightened sense of momentum, making it an adrenaline-fueled affair. It makes playing this mod very addicting, and it will have you coming back for more. Now onto the boss battles. The boss battles of the vanilla version of the game were mostly underwhelming and honestly just flat out boring. In fact, half of them are easier to beat than most of the non-boss characters in the game. What's worse is there's 8 of these boss battles. That is a lot of time you have to dedicate to these boss battles that are boring and tedious. To me, most of the bosses in the original game are mostly just damage sponges that barely even fight back or even try to kill you whatsoever, apart from Sweet Tooth. Luckily, making the boss battles fun was one of Pedro's main goals of this childhood mod. Generally, most bosses are much more aggressive in the way they attack you. Crusher, the first boss you go against, has had his speed increased and now he chases you down like a serial killer in a horror movie, which is both hilarious and terrifying. This actually turns him into one of the most challenging bosses of the game. The next boss, Moonbuggy, fires a special more often, just making him overall more challenging. Super Thumper can kill you in seconds if you're not careful, making it so you gotta keep your distance. RC Car is terrifying because his special is very strong now, and he will use it quite frequently, killing you in seconds if he gets multiple hits on you. Both Super Auger and Super Slam will actually chase you down, unlike before. They are very intimidating, and going against 2 of them will make your heart race like crazy. Minion has by far the biggest increase in their powers. Their special is an absolute menace and will kill you in just 2 hits. Combining his super strong special with the style of map, it creates a unique boss battle. You'll have to try and hide around corners and pick your shots carefully. Yes, that's right, this is how good this map is. It can actually make the maze map kinda cool. The only boss battle that wasn't touched at all is Sweet Tooth, as he was of course already a broken, unfair mess in the unmodded game. Everyone else has gotten a bit more powerful, making it so all the other characters are actually getting closer to Sweet Tooth's overpowered abilities. All these changes make the boss battles much more dynamic and interesting. The challenge also gives you a sense of satisfaction once completed, making these boss battles much more rewarding, the way a boss battle should feel. Right now I'm just going to talk about a final few minor things that Pedro has changed for the game. First of all, AI behavior has been changed as much as Pedro was able to. He tried his best to make it so every single character has unique tendencies to how they approach combat. For example, Warthog will actually entice you to chase him and then put a special behind you and try to catch you off guard, and it gets me all the time. Trashman also likes to use his truck to ram people. Orbital seems to use his invisibility a lot to make him hard to hit. These are just a few examples, and once again, I just encourage the viewer to check out these changes in behavior themselves. I don't want to spoil it for y'all. This mod has also increased the amount of weapon pickups on each map. There seems to be weapons hidden in every nook and cranny, so you never have to worry about running out. This is great for so many reasons. First of all, you will rarely run out of weapons, which is another feature that keeps you in the action in the game constantly. On top of this, it adds replayability and variety to the gameplay. This also forces you to go into corners of the map that you otherwise never would touch, adding a change of scenery. Not only that, but he also added a few other minor things to some of the maps. On the first map of Construction Yard, he added a lightning attack that can be found in one of the corners of the battleground. Once used, it'll send lightning out in all directions around the crane in the middle of the map. It can be very effective in damaging multiple enemies and even killing them all at once. Some of the maps like Road Rage and Carnival that already have lightning attacks have had those attacks drastically improved. There's even a few minor things like new portals leading you to different areas in the maps and more destructible environments like on Oil Rig. This makes the map feel much more lively and makes it so you will have a different experience every single time you play. These map upgrades kind of add a fresh feeling of map exploration to a game that's actually over 20 years old. This is reason 1000 why this mod is so replayable. One last aspect I want to highlight is the revamped created cars. In the vanilla version of Twisted Metal 4, these vehicles often felt underwhelming due to their lackluster specials. These specials either dealt barely any damage or lacked engaging mechanics that make car combat fun, leaving created cars feeling lifeless and empty. With this mod, however, Pedro has completely transformed this aspect of the game. Every single special has undergone significant improvements, enhancing their damage output, effectiveness, and overall appeal, adding even more depth to a mod that's full of replayability. And again, I don't want to spoil all of these, I just encourage the viewer to test these specials out, especially the funny bomb. That is an absolute blast. Ultimately, this mod makes Twisted Metal 4 the game it always should have been. In my opinion, this honors the series by keeping it alive and making the series feel fresh. To me, it's essentially like having a brand new game in a series that hasn't had a new game in over 10 years. This is done by changing it into an exciting, fast-paced car combat game that harnesses the full potential of the 989 era of these games. You can spend hours and hours in this mod trying out different characters and different play styles. There is just so much to do, I never get bored. I am encouraging absolutely anyone who has enjoyed Twisted Metal games before to give this mod a try. Even if you don't like Twisted Metal 4, I believe there's a chance you will enjoy this wonderful mod. Pedro has spent hundreds of hours making this mod, and I would love to see as many people as humanly possible checking it out. So please, even if it's just a favor to me, give it a try. If you give it a try and you end up enjoying what you're playing, please consider donating to Pedro's PayPal account. He has a donation link set up, and I will put it in the pinned messages in the comments section. Even a small donation can go a long way in helping Pedro make bigger and better things in the future. Plus, by supporting him, you are actually supporting the entire Twisted Metal community because of the fact that he adds so much to this wonderful community. In general, I hope you guys liked today's video. Please like and sub for more classic content, but you guys have a great day, and remember to tune in next time when I jam my Jello in Japan.